Denise Lyons and Natalie Kent to come forward to introduce Michelle Mason. Michelle, will you please join Denise and Natalie?
It gives me great pleasure tonight to induct a former athlete of mine, Michelle Mason, known to everybody fondly as Mick. As a soccer coach, you always hope that you have two players, a forward that can put the ball in the back of the net and a decent goalkeeper that can keep it out at the other end. I was very fortunate in 2001 to not find just a decent goalkeeper, but an outstanding goalkeeper. Mick came in as a freshman and beat out my starting junior goalkeeper and a very good sophomore goalkeeper for the starting position, a position that she would hold for all 4 years. Mick beat out her competition by her desire to be the best goalkeeper she could be, always pushing herself to be the best, to perfection. Mick was self-motivated and had a deep passion and desire for the game. Mick showed up to practice and performed every day as if it was game day. Losing was not in her vocabulary. Her strong work ethic and competitiveness was contagious and rubbed off on her teammates. She was unanimously selected by her teammates to be captain. When Mick spoke, the whole team listened intently. She had an uncanny way of getting through to her teammates and psyching them up for competition and for a challenge, but she would also hold them accountable and often use choice words, which I can't use tonight. But they listened. When Mick spoke, they listened, because they didn't want to disappoint her. Shattering records was not only her forte, not in one sport, but also in two. She excelled in every aspect of her game. Her statistics are proof of that. Selected all 4 years on the LEC All-Star teams, 3-time All-New England selection, an All-New England Women's Intercollegiate Soccer Association selection, an NSCAA region selection, Senior Bowl participant, the Female Athlete of the Year at Keene State. She set and holds many individual records and team records at Keene State to this day, which are listed in the program. During her playing days, she anchored a defence that went to 2 NCAA, 2 ECAC, and 4 LEC tournament berths, reaching the NCAA Sweet 16 round her sophomore year. Mick was selected to play in the New England Senior Bowl, which is players are selected from Division 1, 2, and 3. Mick was selected and got more votes than any other Division 3 player in New England. Not alone was she able to juggle the time demands of playing 2 sports, but also was able to balance her academic workload in the classroom to maintain a cum GPA of 3.16. Mick was a true role model who led by example both on and off the field, a true team leader, team motivator, along with being a great team captain. After graduation, I was fortunate enough to have Mick join my coaching staff as my goalkeeper coach, where she passed on her knowledge and enthusiasm to my young goalkeepers. At this time, I'm going to hand you over to former lacrosse player of Mick's, Natalie Kent, who will complete this induction. Congratulations, Mick.
So I'm supposed to pick you all in your advance, right? So that makes this easier. I'm a little nervous, but past that, I'm more honored to introduce Michelle, who's being inducted also for lacrosse, as you did so well mentioning all her honors as a soccer player. Mick played lacrosse as a freshman in 2002, and after a spring semester in Australia, she returned to play in 2004 and in 2005. Her talent was something that the women's lacrosse program had not yet witnessed or experienced. She transitioned the team to from mediocre to a competitive winning team as a player and then as a coach. During her playing years, Michelle received all LEC All-Star honors, first as a rookie in 2002, and then in her return in 2004, and then again in 2005. She just can't help it. During her 3 years, as was mentioned, she'd set records and then she would break her records. She still holds the records for the most goals scored in a career with 202. She earned 82 career assists and accumulated 284 career points, also a current record. She also holds records for the most goals scored in a season, the most points in a season, the most draw controls in a career, and shares the record for the most draw controls in a season. I could go on. And while her honors and records paint a pretty picture of how amazing a player Michelle was, I am getting emotional. It hardly describes, deep breath. It hardly describes how amazing a teammate she was. Having played on her team for 2 of her 3 seasons, I'm lucky to have the opportunity tonight to describe what it was like to play with Mick. Oh my God, you guys, bear with me. I want to tell you of the most amazing graduation gift I could have ever imagined. On May 6, 2004, 7 just graduated seniors, including myself, tore off their black robes to reveal their Keene State women's lacrosse jerseys as they ran from the ceremony and rushed to the lacrosse field where they would play the biggest game of their near-finished lacrosse careers at Keene State. It was the ECAC championship final game against Eastern Connecticut. From the first whistle to the very end, the fate of our team was in Mick's hands. She busted out 3 quick goals to start the game and set the pace for her teammates and for our opponents in the first 5 minutes of play. She was determined, and we all fed off of her energy. The rest of the game was truly back and forth. We'd pull ahead by 1, and Eastern Connecticut would score 1 to tie. East Con would score 1, and we'd answer back with a tie. 11 times the game was scored, and 5 times the lead had changed. It was the most exciting game I've ever played in. Michelle, having scored 8 of the 16 goals scored in regulation, was going to lead us all to a championship title, the first ever for Keene State women's lacrosse, and we all knew it. The confidence that she had in herself, and the confidence that she had in all of her teammates, the heart, the drive, her fearless attitude, her encouragement, all this, and then of course, there was her untouchable athletic ability. The level of skill that surpassed anyone on that field. The level of skill that decided just how hard everyone would play that game and every game. Her teammates played harder and reached limits that they never imagined themselves capable, including myself. And the opposing team fought hard to compete. With everything, with everything that she had, Mick carried us to the final minute of this game down by 1, with 8 seconds left in regular play. I remember receiving the perfect shovel pass from the named MVP of the game, Michelle Mason, with my eyes closed and my head down. Yeah, I don't know how it got there, but it ended up in the back of the net. I swear Michelle had more confidence in me than I had in myself to make that shot. We all would have been grateful to her to please just make 1 more goal to get us to tie this game and bring us into overtime, but she gave it to me. It was her complete selfless play. That was the best moment of my lacrosse career, so thank you. After a scoreless 6-minute overtime, 1 minute and 37 seconds into a sudden death overtime, Michelle proved herself unstoppable. She scored her 9th goal of the game, breaking her own record of goals scored in the game, and she won the most memorable game of my entire lacrosse career. We all pummeled her, and I'm sure I said it then, but thanks for the greatest gift I could have received on graduation. It was that drive to reach her goals that led Michelle to have further successes with the Keene State women's lacrosse team, even after her graduation in 2005. Michelle went on to become the assistant coach the following year in 2006, and then earned the title of head coach in 2007 and 2008. Excuse me. In her new role, Michelle would now be coaching the same players that once played with her on the field. She would be challenged to gain the respect of former teammates as their new coach. Excuse me. For Michelle, the transition was effortless, and for her teammates, the transition was natural. She led by example as a player, and also as a coach. She was a leader and a teacher, as a teammate, and thus use those skills to reach her goal of becoming a Division I women's lacrosse coach at Iona College in New Rochelle, New York, where she's been coaching since 2009. Even with everything that I've described to you in all of her greatness, Michelle remains modest and humble, sweet and sincere, funny and interesting, fun and adventurous, and I'm glad to call her my friend. Congratulations. You deserve it.
Thank you both so much. I'm in preseason currently, and I've been so excited about the season coming up and about this, that it's been like, how can I get my thoughts together to portray what Keene means to me, because I share my story so many times, so I'm trying to condense it and hopefully portray how important this institution is to where I am now. So thank you, family and friends, and Nat and Irish and John and all the administrators, athletic training staff, my amazing teammates and coaches that I've had over the years. I knew as soon as I stepped on foot at Keene State that this is where I wanted to go. I came on a trip with my little brother and my dad. We were doing like the New England swing of colleges, looked at UNH, UVM, did all that. And I was like, I really like Keene. I don't know, there's something about it. And we came back, I stayed overnight, I met with Irish, and I got to watch the women's soccer team beat USM in this battle of a game. And I remember Jen Ortiz, a lot of you might remember her, with this goose egg that she got from this game, and her coming over to the bench, and she had her head covered and moved her hand, and like the bench was like all like that, and that's when she started crying and when it really started to hurt. But at that point, I'm like, this place is great. That they rough them up. Okay, this is good. So at that moment, I was like, this is absolutely where I want to go. I got to spend the evening with a lot of alumni, a lot of parents, at some different functions throughout Keene, and just knew that this was the place for me, where I could go and play two sports and have a good time and still play at a really competitive level. That December, I got the iconic Keene State gray hoodie under the tree from my father, which I remember getting, and I wore it at school, I think, every day the next 2 months. So as a freshman, I was blessed because my coaches and teammates not only trusted my playing ability, but also pushed me to assume a leadership position. This confidence absolutely shaped my college playing career, as well as pushed me down the path that I ended up taking to become a college coach. There's some highlight moments for me, for sure. I think about my freshman year, and our opening tournament for soccer was at the University of Rochester. Well, I'm from Rochester, so I got to look in the stands, and there's all my family, my friends, my teammates, all these people that I know, and Irish had the faith in me to get out there and start, which I honestly had no idea. And from that moment on, I think that was the chance where, I had confidence in myself, because I had all these other people that were instilling that in me. After the junior year, we beat EastCon, as Nat was saying. I can't do a better job than she did about graduation day, but the weeks leading up to that point, we were, after practice, working together because we had set a goal for ourselves to beat EastCon, which had never been done before, and everybody knows EastCon, and we want to beat EastCon with that rivalry. So, and then senior year, won the LECs again, and I guess, when you think about senior year, you think about your career coming to an end, and we were at Middlebury, and I remember the game ending, and it just wasn't our day at all. And I remember looking over, and Kara Paquette was in the wheelchair. She just had ACL surgery, one of our starting defenders, and she was there a day after surgery, like in full wool suit, because we were in Middlebury, Vermont, in the middle of November. And just looking around, looking at my teammates, and realizing, wow, I hadn't cried, because I knew that we'd met the mark that we had set for ourselves, which was pretty incredible. So, whenever I share my experience at Keene State, I talk about opportunity. I had the opportunity to play two sports at a competitive level with unbelievable teammates, great coaches, supportive staff, and at a school that I was extremely proud to play for. Upon graduating, I got to assist Irish, and I got to assist my lacrosse coach. They allowed me to become a part of their staff. After that, I was supposed to move out to Oregon to coach at Pacific University as an assistant with the old Plymouth State coach, and John and Rob Colbert were calling me up, asking me if I would take the Keene State job. And it was a goal that I had set for myself, but I had no idea that it would happen so soon. After that, 2 years at Keene, I realized that this is what I wanted to pursue, and I wanted to pursue it full time. And I had Amy Watson and John and Rob and Irish and Bob Marrow all supporting me to put myself out there and put an application out. And somehow I ended up at Iona, and now I've been there for 4 years. I was given an opportunity at Keene State to pursue something that I really love, and now that I'm at Iona, every single day I recognize that I'm so blessed because I truly get to live my dream. I wanted to coach Division I, now I'm coaching Division I lacrosse, and I have to pinch myself. And that whole bit from the lessons I learned at Keene and the experiences that I had here have laid the foundation for what it is that I base my coaching philosophy around. I want to provide my girls with a good experience, and I hope that it can even come close to what I've had at Keene. I also get to have a job where my family gets to come and support me and gets to watch me, and I'm as much a big fan of theirs as they are of mine, so thank you guys. And I absolutely have the best job in the world, and it's thank you to Keene for putting me in this position. So thank you so much.
I remember being on vacation in North Carolina, and the Iona AD called me when I was on vacation to add, I told you this story, but called to ask about Michelle. And I said, you know what, you can't get it, she's young, she's going to do a great job for you, and she'll do wonderful things. So I'm glad you're there, and congratulations. So Michelle's plaque reads, Keene State Athletic Hall of Fame, Michelle Mason, 05, soccer lacrosse, 6-time All-Little East first team. Soccer, Keene State record for wins, saves, shutouts. Lacrosse, Keene State record for goals, assists, points. Keene State Female Student Athlete of the Year, inducted February 4, 2012. Michelle.